Thank you, Yang Mohamad, Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim. We'll now move on to the Q&A sessions. So for those who haven't submitted your question yet, you still may do so by going to the comment section of our Facebook Live and find the pinned link that will direct you to slido.com to ask your questions. Now the Q&A session will be moderated by my lovely colleague Itzman. So without further ado, I'd like to call upon Itzman to take over the screen for the Q&A session. Take over.
Terima kasih, Daniel.
Thank you very much for the lively introduction, Dalu. By way of introduction, my name is Ismat Qayyum and I'm the chairperson-elect at UKEC. But for today, I'll be your moderator, and what a great honor that is, as we have an esteemed guest who needs no introduction. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. YB Dato Sri, how are you today?
Salam, fine, good.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm good. The young used to say that. For my generation, we say I'm fine.
YB Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim is the leader of the opposition and MP of Port Dickson. With YB Dato Seri just delivering a powerful opening keynote, we have reached the Q&A segment of this session. This session will run for 20 minutes. And as a reminder, participants are encouraged to keep questions concise. We will be prioritizing questions which receive the highest upvote. So please remember to include your name, course of study, and university. With these housekeeping rules now over, we can now proceed with the first question. YB Dato Seri, are you ready to engage with our youth in the first ever virtual MSLS?
Yeah. You read the question first, Ismat, or you want me to read the question?
I will start off.
You should read.
Yeah, I'll start off with some questions of my own, and then we'll open the floor to the Q&A. So we'll start off with the easy one, YB Dato Seri. I'm sure you've heard of a one YB Tun Dr. Mahathir. Given with everything that has transpired these past few months, I think the Rakyat would like to know, what is your current relationship status with Tun?
Nothing personal. I work with everyone, but I have made a decision that we have given him the opportunity. He has been Prime Minister for the almost 24 years. He had made the promise, although he had to renege on it. It's okay, it's personal. So let us then move on. And I think now we have to go more beyond the old arrangements.
I see. I think, recently with Tun actually announcing yet another party, I think some of us would like to know what are your thoughts on that, given our topic is on unity, and this party is actually a Malay-based party. To what extent do you think Malay-based parties help to unite and bring people together, or do they rather fragment and push people further apart?
It's a democratic country, Ismat, so people should feel free to form parties or associations unhindered by any rules or legislations. Having said that, I must say that I represent Keadilan, a party that talks about reform, that talks about justice, transcending race. So, of course, there is now a clear departure from the old, what I consider an obsolete thinking, that there's no other solution except to be race-based. I understand there are problems because people do appeal to race still. But I think after 60 years of independence, we have to mature as a society. My dream, as I've said before, is to ensure that the Malays feel secure in this country, given the opportunities, respect and dignity. But every single citizen, which includes Malays, Chinese, Indians, Dayas or Kadazans, must feel that this is their country, must be accorded the right responsibilities and privileges and rights. Yesterday, incidentally, I did popularize this very known hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to suggest that he will be a witness in defense of those non-Muslims ill-treated, those who have entered the mu'ahid, which is the agreement, which means they respected the constitution, they're citizens of the country. If their rights, whether their rights or they're intimidated or they're harassed or oppressed, it's not allowed. So why is that some people view this is inconsistent with the Malay belief or Islam? That's my case, Ismail.
Yeah, I think not many people know, but actually the Medina Constitution was the first ever constitution ever made in Yathrib. And so it's a clear example that it's very aligned with Islamic principles. I have one more question. There are a lot of questions that other people want to ask, so I'll cut it short. My final question is, has Thun managed to extend an invitation to you beforehand to join his new party?
No, certainly.
No,
I think he's smart and experienced enough to understand my views, my strong views against any issue of governance, against corruption, against abuse of power, against racism and religious bigotry. And I think certainly I will remain committed to a multiracial agenda in this country.
Absolutely.